Address that. Welcome. December 18th and 19th here in India. How is everyone doing?
Good.
How are you, Cindy? Ready to
So
rock and roll?
good.
Yes, so this is our last, or hopefully the best session of 2024. Looking forward to having an awesome conversation, which is coming very soon. Cindy, are you excited? Looking forward?
For our chat today? Heck yeah,
Yeah.
I'm in full 2025 planning mode, like 100%. So this is all what I've been thinking about for the last month, so I'm down.
Same here, same here. And what we want to talk about is a few things, but before we get to that, new growth ideas for 2025 for small businesses. Exciting times to be a small business. I was looking at some stats, and the last couple of years, Cindy, they've been in the US, we've been averaging like 5.5 million new starts for the last year or two. It's just mind-boggling. That's how many new businesses are coming on, each year. And yeah, the numbers have been up and up in the last few years, especially after COVID meltdown that happened a little bit. But it's a lot of new businesses coming online, and I'm sure they're going to need a lot of new strategies to grow. And hopefully we can help them next year. That's me, founder and CEO of oGoing. We'll talk a little bit about oGoing very quickly. Cindy, Kokoro, yeah.
Kokoro. Kokoro means heart, mind, and spirit because we have to know the people that we're working with, the people who we are hoping will buy from us, our customers, know what they care about and what they love in order to do our work, do our marketing. And so, yes, been spending tons of time figuring out uh, strategies for 2025 and then choosing the tactics to make those happen. And everything from setting up some LinkedIn retargeting this morning to working on evergreen campaigns and other things to stay in touch with people and just be where our customers are. Fun stuffs.
Absolutely. And a quick overview of our sessions this year. Wow, what a calendar it has been. I can't imagine when we were planning this back in April or before that, right? And here we are. So what an awesome year. We had one change in date. November 19th was 28th, but other than that, we stuck to the schedule and a little change in time today. So thanks for accommodating folks. And I have a strange feeling people are going to show up in an hour from now and probably have to redo this session, Cindy. I hope not. We'll see. We'll see. Um, oGoing, what's going on, folks? oGoing, we are planning or trying to become the number one community for growth, for business, for small businesses. And we had an exciting year this year for sure. We launched oGoing 2.0. Nothing to do with Trump 2.0, but exciting indeed. That was a joke. Never mind. But the growth is awesome. We're having a lot of new businesses joining every day, and it's a brand new platform. A lot of work went into designing it, and I think we're getting ready for a great 2025 based on where we see ourselves. Promoting a lot of businesses. So what we do help is once business joins oGoing, mostly small businesses, we spotlight them not only on oGoing community, but also on all major social platforms, including LinkedIn, X, which was Twitter, Instagram, Google, YouTube, Facebook, you name it. So a lot of it we do it just because we love small businesses. So come and join us. Share your stories, create your business profile, get your traffic up, and most importantly, connect with other like-minded owners, right? Who are on oGoing, building their business one day at a time. So, we love small business, and as we say, we love taking the road less traveled, the long path, but hopefully the short path. So come and join us on oGoing and Kokoro, Cindy. Yeah.
I feel like I did this part of my talk a minute ago, so I'm gonna say, let's get into it, if that's cool with you.
Let's get into it. And it's going to be an interactive session, folks. Absolutely. And join in, chime in, and look, it's not like we have all the best ideas. We just have a conjecture, hopefully a smart conjecture as to what we think
I
will
mean,
be an
I think
awesome
we're
idea.
sharing what we're doing. Like that's a lot of what's happening here is Sanjay and I are sharing what we're doing in our day to day and with other clients that we work with. And then also drawing on the group here so we can help each other. Like I called Alan last week when I needed help with something that we can all be a community and pitch in and share what's working.
Absolutely. So I think based on some of the things that we've already been sharing this year, and I'm sure a lot of us who are here, including Alan, Wayne, Charles. So thank you, folks, for coming back and joining us, collaborating with us. It's been a fun ride this year, and we're going to keep going next year as well. But I think the three big things that I'm thinking, and this is again for any business, but let's assume that you are in the services segment for a second here, B2B or home services. And I think one big idea I feel, Cindy, is the whole automation with AI. And if there is, I think if there is that holy, grail, if you may, that path to automated lead generation. I'm like, that sounds, and it could be B2B or B2C. So I want to, I mean, I put B2B because we're thinking LinkedIn right now, but really, I think if there is a way to create this automation where the leads can happen like this, and hopefully the machine cranks up, and you get this inflow of leads. HubSpots of the world, they call it inbound leads, or but it happens because you have set up your systems in place. So again, I think that could be one big idea. How we implement it, I have a slide on that. Obviously it's not as simple as it sounds in one bullet point here, but I think an automation that creates leads, a system like that would be awesome. Uh, and of course,
I want to see
analytics
your
is my
implementation
favorite.
slide. I'm excited because I'm imagining
Yeah.
all kinds of pieces of that since automation is definitely one of my favorite jams. And I can't wait to see your slide so I can find out your cool thought.
I do have it right here, and
Not to
and of
jump the
course,
gun. I can wait till you get there. Just
no, no,
excited.
no. It is exciting. And of course, AI-driven analytics, a lot of us get that, make better, smarter business decisions. And I think we're already using collaboration. Zoom is collaboration, we have Slack out there, got Teams and Meet and all kinds of tools. But again, they're adding a lot of AI to it now, right? So what it does is I call it smart collaboration now, because as soon as we are done with this meeting, it's going to generate an AI summary. It's already doing it now as I speak, as you are speaking, Cindy, and so I have to be a little mindful of what I say or not say anymore. Just
Uh-huh.
kidding.
Who else here is using that Zoom summary, or did anybody else on this call use that at all? I like it. Antonio?
I do. I actually use Apollo,
Apollo,
and
yeah.
yeah, I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with that tool. It's pretty good. So what I
Yep.
do is I have a link to my calendar, and then when the meeting starts, uh, a sign will say A-line recorders trying to enter your meeting. And then I first, check with the customer or with the prospect if they're okay with us recording it. And if they say yes, then I let them in. And then Apollo has really good interfacing. Like it tells you like, okay, during this time you showed something on the screen, and then at the end they give you a full recap with action items. So it kind of makes it very easy for me to do that email follow-up with prospects, and then just sending it straight through. I mean, I have to tweak the language a little bit, just doesn't really capture, just for my own sanity's sake, that I feel like I'm doing more than just regurgitating something a computer is doing for me.
Yeah.
But
True.
yeah, that's kind of the tool that I use.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I'm going to make a note of that. Yeah, no, I think it's fascinating what AI can do. And you're right, some of these tools can be fairly dry in the way they talk about the summaries, but so you got to add your own personal touch to it, no doubt. I think that makes all the difference. And I think what I like though is if you do this the right way, including the video, right? The video which gets recorded, you can actually send that link off to AI and it will give you a summary of that as well, and including closed captions and all kinds of fun things are out there. So you can reuse your videos into many other areas, right? Besides just one long video. So I think, and I think that all falls in the realm of collaboration or connection or communication, both within your teams and your customers. And I think there is a lot going on there for sure. But coming back to the first bullet here, which is automated AI-powered B2B lead gen, if you may, and implementing a system like that, I think there is definitely something here which I know we're going to explore quite a bit, both for us and our clients. And I was kind of creating a table as to what the system could look like. And again, by in no means, I think the schedules here might be quite aggressive at best, I think. But if you create a system like this, which includes different stages, of course, from data collection to data enrichment, of course, our classic segmentation would be there. I think a very important part of the staging here would be lead scoring.
I love
Because,
scoring. I am such a fan.
yeah, what do you do in scoring, Cindy? What do you
Yeah.
find most useful?
Well, it helps to know who to reach out to. So if I'm doing sales, you're doing sales, part of the sales process for some of our companies is we got to talk to someone before the sales happen. I realize some people sell without that touch, but really most of the people I end up working with, the actual sale, when that really happens, you're going to talk to somebody. And so it's sometimes hard to know who to reach out to. And so lead scoring can help. You can put a combination of automated lead scoring system in place, plus manual lead scoring as well. So an example might be, we could say when someone receives an email and they open it, now we know that open rates aren't always right, but we still could put this in place. So if they open it, maybe they get a point. Maybe if they click on it, they get 5 points. If they fill out a form, maybe they get 25 points.
Hmm.
If they come to see me at a trade show in my booth, when I get home from that show, or maybe even while I'm still there, I'm going to upload the information into the CRM, into the marketing automation system, and say, hey, these people, if they aren't already in here, create a new record. But if they are already in here, update their record. And all these people get whatever, 50 points for coming to the booth and talking to us, right? So anyway, it's a combination of automated lead scoring plus manual as well. Maybe they sign up for a webinar, they get 10 points. They actually show up to the webinar, they get another 10 points. So those things can be automated. Then when you come to work and fire up your computer and go to the dashboard, who should I call? It becomes clear, oh, I should call these guys. I see 3 different people from this company have been pretty active in the last little bit here.
I love it. I think so. The key is here, of course, we kind of have a sense of what all the stages are. The question is, of course, how much of this can be automated, right? And how much of this, obviously, we still have to have some manual processes in there. And I think the folks who do a really good job at this, they're going to really excel, I think, in 2025. Because, obviously the steps are here. Data enrichment is a big step, Cindy, number 2, right? Because obviously collection is key, but with AI now, you can enrich that data with AI models and APIs. That's
Yeah,
a technology.
Antonio, you're using Apollo, and I think it's the same Apollo I'm thinking about, where you could take a list of companies, for example,
Yep.
maybe website URLs, and say, hey, I'd like to find the marketing people and the CEOs of these companies, and then get a list back from Apollo that has that data enrichment in there. And then you can take it to the next step and have automatic connection requests go to those people on LinkedIn, just for example. And
Yeah,
that's a
that's
good enrichment.
Yeah, that's correct. They do have enrichment. One thing I do like to do is kind of reverse engineer, right? Like I have customers that are top performing customers. How can I create a set of fields in Apollo that would then pull that customer if I didn't already know that customer, right?
Hmm.
So then I create that field and I then see, does the enrichment work or doesn't? Does it categorize it as 100%? And sometimes it just requires like for example, there's this really good customer that we had, continuous relationship, and my Apollo was labeling it as like a 5% a score. So I had to kind of tweak my profile so that it can read that as a 100% so that I can then get more of those type of customers in my pool when I pull customers. So food for thought. That's what I
Really
No, no,
nice. Thank you.
that's awesome. No, 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 absolutely. I mean, is that similar to like a Zoom info or LinkedIn Sales Navigator, or they're similar or different?
It's similar to a sales navigator, but it's all in one thing, right? Like so
Okay.
Apollo is the same software that I use to like record my meetings. And it's like a database for that has a bunch of contact information. I can create my buying unit within that Apollo. Um, I start first looking for companies, and then once I find a company, then some of the research is there as far as like if they recently gotten funding, if there's something in the news that they just recently happened. So it makes it really easy for me to do my research, and then kind
Nice.
of tailor my email based on the information that I've found through them.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense. And I think going down the stages, I think the one I like is also number six here, which is, I mean, of course, five is important too, but both five and six, Cindy, I mean, where do you see automation there, right? Like personalized outreach. Are we there yet where we can actually create automation down to a department or individual level? I mean, what are your thoughts there?
Well, my thoughts are tracking a little bit more with what Antonio was saying, whereas I'm using the automation to and the AI to give me some information so that
Okay.
when I reach out, and so I might have a call list pop up and I have like a little message where I said, hey, I'm going to give you a call in a couple minutes about this. And then
Yep.
I call them and then click a button to make that call. And now I've got that screen up that has a little bit of info about them so that when I call, the AI sort of research makes that outreach reach really easy. And then maybe just for example, if I've got three products, three services, or whatever, maybe two products and kind of general information. Now that I'm talking with them, they're like, oh, I'm super interested in this. I have this issue that I'm trying to solve. Oh, great. Can I get you this info? Now, maybe here's a little bit of a manual piece where I'm going to maybe apply a tag or do something and put them into follow-up automation specific to what they just told me about. So kind
Ah,
of that
yes.
combo of human and automation together, right? Did that make sense?
Totally. Yep, yep, yep. Absolutely. Absolutely. So, what about the time frames? I mean, I know it's, do you think these are more realistic or do you think the times are,
Are
obviously it depends on individuals or situations or,
time required to set it up, or is that the
yeah, I
thinking?
think mostly
Ah,
these are
got
more like
you.
setup times. Yeah.
I mean, I guess it depends on if you're going with sort of a minimum viable product. You can set it up in a
Okay.
morning, and then you're going to iterate things. So um, and I think 2 weeks or 1 week for any number of these is perfectly fine because probably folks are working on other things as well, right? We have other things
Yeah,
happening. So
what
it's
I
not going to
thought
be
too. Yeah,
2 weeks of setting up a data collection system. That could be, I'm working on it on and off for a couple weeks. That makes
makes
sense.
sense.
And
Okay,
then it's
so
still
kind
going to
of
iterate after that, like it's never going to be done, right? Because everything's moving.
absolutely, absolutely, yes, yeah. So I think yeah. So the time frames are, I mean, yes, setting up and running it, tweaking it. I would say these are ballparks. Of course, you can do better, or sometimes it may take longer depending on how complex your systems are, right? So uh, actually, the next chart is on that, and I apologize because it's just too busy, and I tried to fit it in here, but this is really more of a much more complex system. If somebody is really planning on implementing this all the way from scratch, including the system itself, right? So now we're talking about something totally new, and I'm not going to really put a lot of points on this, but what I'm saying is, yeah, you can actually have something similar in weeks, if you may, which is what the earlier system was showing. But if you're planning on designing something all together, well, hey, look, I want to design my own AI-powered system and go to market with that. This is more of that, right? So this is why the timeline here is going all the way from month 1 through month 11. But what are interesting here are points like challenges, right? Defining your clear objectives in the initial planning stage, ensuring data quality, which is going to be huge, especially in the data collection and the data enrichment phase, especially with AI. So I just want to point the challenges out as you are moving forward. And then, of course, if you're going to create your own AI models, then, debugging and refining them until you really feel comfortable with the outputs. That's going to be the key. And then, of course, as you move forward, integration and so on. So again, this was just mostly to share some thoughts, depending on the complexities of your systems. But I want to take a pause here and really open it up for discussion. We have a slide on social media, but I want to come back to that a little later. But this is your time, folks. We're just sharing some of our own ideas. Alan, you wanted to share, I know, in the last session we had talked
We
about
did.
that, and I wanted to hear your thoughts on what we just shared now, but also some of your thoughts for 2025 and new ideas. Yeah.
That for me?
Yes, Alan.
Yeah. Are we putting you on the spot? You always have all the
Well,
cool things to
hey, there's a cat. Oh, shoot. Shouldn't have said that. Sorry. My my dog is in the room and she knows that word. Now she's looking for the feline.
Ah,
The mango. This is the mango.
I
no
see.
mango.
I see. So two-part question there, Sanjay. What would you like to talk about first?
Yes. So the first is what we just showed you, or shared with you, an AI-powered B2, a lead gen.
Hmm.
Does it make sense from what you just saw? Because, obviously, we want to hear your analysis of this. And second is one new growth idea from you, because you're out there, you're doing marketing. I know you are helping customers there.
Yeah. So on the growth idea, it's really for me, it's a general sense. If I had something specific come to mind, I'll bring it up. But I have been really trying to use AI as a data analyst more than a copywriter editor. So I've been doing things like, for example, I will take I'll collect all of the email that I get from my competitors. I'll put it all in one inbox, and then I'll widen out so all the subject lines and pre-headers and all of that stuff is visible on the screen, line by line by line by line. You can imagine you could probably get 20 or 30 of them on the screen. I'll actually screenshot that, and then I'll take that and I'll send it. I'll use ChatGPT as the example. You send that to ChatGPT and you ask, hey, as an expert email an analyst, tell me in this list of subject lines and headers, what are the top 3 to 5 emails that you see would garner the highest, probability to open? And then what are the bottom 3 to 5 that are the worst as far as likelihood to open the email? And let ChatGPT tell me about that analysis and ask, include the follow-up questions of, the why. Well, why do you say that? And thereby I can have the AI engine be my data analyst as opposed to just, copy editing and copywriting. To me, that's a main, I don't know how directly it relates to growth, but it's the main idea that I have as far as improving all aspects of what is happening in the marketing world is to have this companion data analyst with me as I go through any of these processes of personalization or, how do I increase open rates and essentially, I know every marketer out there is basically going, yeah, but open rates are meaningless. Just ignore them. They don't make any sense anymore. Well, that's only partially true because open rate is still relative to your own performance. So, for example, our open rate in our company is 65 to 75%. That's our open rate.
That's
Yeah.
phenomenal.
Now, everyone knows that's slightly inflated, but as long as we stay in that range, if we go over 75, I'm going to go, well, what the heck did we do there? But when we go below 65, I start to then look at it. It's just a relative to myself kind of indicator, as opposed to, oh, it's absolutely true that this email caused a 65% open rate for these reasons. Well, we know what's going on out there with, Apple Mail and others and what's happening in the email world that affects that open rate. We get that. And so that's an example of why I say to ChatGPT, take a look at these subject lines and tell me what you think are the most likely to be opened. Not really caring about the open rate, but what are the characteristics of these? And grab all my competitors, not just me. I'm not the smartest guy in the room, right? So grab all my competitors. What are they all saying? And then just analyze that. What is it that you see as a computer that I can't see as a human as far as why these things are working? And that's kind of my idea on growth going forward in this AI world, if that's helpful at all.
No, very helpful. Actually, if I may, and we didn't spend time on that, but the point number 2 is exactly that, Alan, right? The AI-driven analytics for business decision making, and I think you are actually making a very good point on this. And actually, I have one question, Alan, is are we to assume that ChatGPT has the knowledge today based on the data you're giving it, or do you believe they would need more, like the subject lines? Are we to assume that, okay, here are 20 subject lines and ChatGPT already has amassed the knowledge that out of this 20, this 3 are going to perform amazing because they have had access to emails and similar subject lines? I think that's an open question for you
It
and
is,
for me.
yeah. I think that's an excellent question. And one way, there are a couple of ways that come to mind to test and or support or refute that. And that would be one, well, send it to a few other engines, Gemini, a couple others, and see what you get back, right? I mean, that's one way to kind of do some corroboration. And another is to go to the next level, again, with multiple platforms. And you could say something like, okay, you picked these 3 email subject lines. Let me give you the whole email. Here's the entire email. Now you tell me, give me detailed feedback. You're the world's greatest email analyst. So give me detailed feedback as to, what's going on here, what's working, what do you see as good, and what
Yep.
would you change or eliminate in this email? And so take that to the next level and see what you get there. And as always, this is Dobby the house elf, right? This isn't, your commander in chief. This is Dobby the house elf. Hey, thank you for that information. Now my human brain is going to take that and do something with it, right?
Absolutely. And I had a similar idea, and I know we're going to talk about social media very quickly. But what if we did something similar to what you said, Alan, for social media? Let's say the good news is social media is we can actually see the performance of the content on most platforms, right? Because you will see like how many folks have engaged with that content, be it the number of likes, conversations, retweets, or shares. That number is there. What if we took, let's say, 10 or 20 such content bites, hopefully in the industry that you're working on. In your case, let's say in the pet industry, or in my case, if I'm helping a roofer in the roofing industry, whatever.
Yeah.
The point is, we take 10, 20 such posts, we actually feed all that to an AI engine like ChatGPT, Gemini, whatever. We say, look, here are the 10, 20 posts. Here is what we also know what the engagement has been on this content. Now that you have that data, tell us what happened here. Why are you seeing this?
Yeah.
And what is something new that we can now create, which can potentially have a similar engagement? And of course, we'll have to A/B test that, but I feel like that could be another way. Kind of like what you said, give the whole content of the email. But what we still don't know is whether how successful that email was for your competitor. That part is missing as of now, but at least on social media side, I feel we have that data point, which could get interesting because I've never done that. I just thought of it while we were talking about the email, and I'm like, wow, this is something I'm not probably going to try and see.
Yeah.
Like I see all these LinkedIn posts which do so well. I'm like, damn, why did that post really took off? What was
Yeah.
something exciting about that? And now if you have 10 such posts, maybe we can find a formula here and we can try it out and see.
Well, yeah,
if
it'd
it
be
works.
interesting. When I have an add-on for you on the testing AI in the email realm, but
Yeah.
you're starting to get into how does the algorithm work and or algorithms, and do these AI engines have any concept, any insight whatsoever into how those algorithms work? Because
Yeah.
I do know some things about LinkedIn and how to get LinkedIn to perform for you, but I'm the last person you would want to consult with because I'm a tragedy on LinkedIn.
Okay.
I have nothing going on LinkedIn. So, but
Yeah.
to the other point, here's something you could try. You know how there's an A/B test pretty much built into every automation platform, right?
Yep.
For at least for subject lines, right?
Yep.
So one thing you could do is take your 2 subject lines that you're A/B testing with your own list.
Yep.
Take the 2 subject lines, feed them into ChatGPT, and tell it, hey, I'm doing these 2 subject lines in an A/B test. I'd like you, ChatGPT, to tell me who you think the winner is going to be of these 2 subject lines and
Love
why,
it.
and then see how it actually performs and start to collect a little bit of data about how well correlated or not it is to your own situation. That's one little test you can do to test these AI engines and how much they actually know.
Yeah, it's and the key is you're right. We want to crack that formula. I mean, I'm not saying we want to re-engineer it, but
Yeah.
at least if we can understand 50 to 60 or 70% of what's really happening,
Yeah.
I think then we as marketers can really help ourselves and of course our customers. Cindy, you want to say something? I'm sure you do.
Oh man, you guys are killing it. I'm loving it so much. I just feel like the whole piece around using any of the AI for data analysis makes sense, and any kind of data that we can just leverage to understand our customers that much more is so good. And so if we're getting into personas and performance, and so
Yep.
Alan, I love how you've kind of taken it to the next level. I was talking with someone who had taken their top customers, fed it into Chat GPT with the customer lifetime value of each customer, and said, here's these people, find me 100 more people like this, and pay attention to the customer lifetime value. And
Yeah.
then, come back to me. They had a few steps, come back to me with what you see common between these people. And
Yeah.
it was really interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is really cool. And um,
I'm
I
inspired, Alan.
yeah, it can help us too. I think Sanjay was talking about this is how do you get to the, we call it personalization, but it has everything to do with segmenting and targeting, these
Yep.
segments. Can, you kind of see a pretty clear pathway when these email delivery platforms, email service providers start actually putting AI in the right places, inside
Hmm.
those platforms as far as that kind of thing is concerned, right? It's like, hey, yeah, I don't really need you to help me craft the copy of an email, that that's like kindergarten stuff,
Yep.
so help me with this analysis, like tell me, okay, I'm sending this email, I'm sending out a newsletter every week, it's going out now go take a look at that and you tell me, what how do I find more people like that, and so on and so forth, and give me the analysis and behind that as far as that goes, and you segment my list and figure out how to go out there and do that segmentation, and there's no reason a computer can't do that, and
Yeah.
I,
But
I'm looking for that out of these email service providers and not this kindergarten stuff,
that is the holy grail. I think if we can get to that level, I think that would be just amazing, right? Because then even while you are writing the email, even while writing the subject lines, content, images,
Yeah.
it's actually advising
Oh, you
earlier
froze.
about lead
There
score.
you go.
So telling you, giving you a score from let's say 1 through 100 as to how awesome your email is going to be by the time you're done. Obviously,
Yeah.
100 is actually impossible, but if I get in the 80s, I'm like a pretty happy camper right there, right? Because I'm like, dude, that's better than like 50s or what the hell I was doing
Yeah.
before.
Well, how many of us have been around the business planning process, or the go-to-market process, or the value proposition process? And it breaks down to two things every single time. It breaks down to how does this save me money or how does this make me money, right? Okay, let's take that one more step. Is it true or not true that the how does it make me money side has an unlimited upside versus the how does it save me money side has a floor? Is
Always.
that, does that make sense? Okay.
Totally makes
Yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah. Brilliant.
So help me understand now, why is everyone caught up on this AI thing about how efficient it makes us as a workforce? That's good, but it's got a limited floor. Unless
Yep.
you plan on replacing every human in the workforce with a robot, okay, that's one scenario, and then we're all
Would
drinking
be
Mai
exciting.
Tais.
Would be
Yeah,
exciting.
yeah, we're all drinking Mai Tais, shopping on Amazon, right? But the thing is, there's a floor. So that's why I think the focus, and if I were starting an AI company, I would be focused on the unlimited upside of
Yep.
how does this make me money? And that has to do with analytics and improving the go-to-market reach and improving the specificity, the ever elusive ABM, account-based marketing, that was
Mhm.
such a, arduous manual process. And we had whole apps out there built on ABM. We are the ABM app of the future, And but that's how I see it. I see it AI in business and marketing when it starts to have material, provable, tangible impacts on the unlimited upside of how does this make me money? Now I'm excited. I'm really excited about that. And those are the apps I'm looking for. And as an investor, those are the apps that I'm going to be in and am investing in. So there you go. That's my
I
take on AI
I think
in
that's an
2025.
awesome take, Alan. I love it. I think that's, to me, I can't find a better exclamation point on that. Charles or Wayne, did you guys want to add? Are you online? You're welcome to pitch in. But I'm also, yeah, go ahead, Wayne.
Yeah. Sorry, Beck. I'm kind of also an educator, so it's kind of like limited in terms of able to engage here. But the conversation has been great. And actually, I look for more. Like yesterday, I had a webinar having to do with proposal writing and stuff using AI to help with that. So the discussion here is great because I think they said for a GPT to do the proposal writing, if you just randomly do it, it's not going to work. It's really more design. Maybe you have internal marketing and things within your team, because it's past performance and various things you have to pull within your organizations. You can't just randomly pull something from other organizations and be able to put that under, for your proposal writing. So that was what was interesting for you guys to talk about that a little bit. And also I use Twitter, writing stuff. I do this in analytics. You have to pay the premium thing. So it does break down demographics and followers and like percentages. And I do have the analytics and see. And actually, the nice thing about with Twitter is all over the world. I got people from all different countries that I can see clearly are following what my messaging and things that I send out. So that's a kind of a great thing. So I just wanted to have that feedback.
No, that's a great
I love
feedback.
that. That's
Yeah.
great.
You know what I love Twitter a lot, Wayne, is besides sharing content and reading news and keeping up, it's awesome for conversations, especially threaded conversations. So I think that's awesome. So I just want to share a quick slide, and I'm mindful of the time here as well. So we want to wrap it. But our favorite topic is, of course, social media and what are some ideas. We talked about this AI-driven personalization. This is huge, right? And I think the more inroads we'll make in there. And of course, content, we have been talking about it all year, so no need to harp more on this. But one other interesting point I want to just quickly make is, especially if you are into shopping and e-commerce, so if you're selling products, I think these two bullets are really important. The immersive experiences that we are seeing more and more. I've seen that on Amazon and many other websites now with AR and VR, where you can literally put whatever you're trying to buy in your rooms or offices or wherever you're going to put it, and visualize how it's going to look. The immersive part, and I think the social commerce with enhanced community engagement. I think that to me is another awesome thing that we'll see more and more. Folks are going to create communities around what they're doing or their passions or societies, identities, and that in turn with influencers can create a lot of commerce activities. So again, there are some ideas to think about, and as you're looking to grow, I know we have had great conversations today, and really the next step is coming up. we're going to have some new session, I'm sure. Stay tuned on that. What's your big thought, Cindy, for the day now, going into
Oh,
next year?
using data to understand our customers better, and the whole chat that we just had in the last,
Yep.
half of this session.
Yeah, I think, and I'm with Alan on this as well as to, efficiencies versus, I want to say
Art.
expansion ability,
Mhm.
growth, right? That's why we said number one growth idea. And I think if AI can really focus on that, where how do we really grow? And growth is, of course, sales would be awesome, but to get to sales growth, what are all the different engines that you have to think about, in the company that will help you grow more? Lead scoring is one such engine, favorite of Sanjay's here. And I think my favorite is really all different ways you can find your customers, right? I'm big on that. So again, what are all these different ways where you can grow using AI? And I think if you do all of those right, then hopefully you will grow as a company. And I think that to me would be awesome. And I think we'll talk more about that next year for sure. Yeah.
Sounds good. I love seeing all of you, and I need to go. Happy 2025. Talk later.
Happy holidays, folks. Thanks for joining and see you back in 2025. Cheers.
Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Cheers.
Yes, bye bye.